whether his best long-term fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere. That, according to our Shams Charania. Antetokounmpo is coming off one of the best seasons of his career, averaging 30 points, over 11 rebounds, and 6 assists a game on 60% shooting, which left him finishing in the top 3 of MVP voting. All right, Stephen A., what place could Giannis go that would most impact the rest of the NBA landscape?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Let's go ahead and say it, man.
It might be San Antonio. It might be San Antonio, if I'm being honest.
Really?
When you're talking about Giannis with Wembanyama, with De'Aaron Fox, I know Chris Paul ain't going to leave. You know what I'm saying? If that kind of scenario presents itself. If I can't imagine you would be able to keep your Rookie of the Year in Castle, but who knows? Based on the assets that they have available, I'm imagining they'll have to give up something, you know. I'm not going to say bless you this time. The point is, okay, there we go. So the point that I'm trying to make to you is that Wembanyama with Giannis and De'Aaron Fox, and you still got CP3 and his veteran leadership on a roster, I can't ignore that. Houston, I get you. Knocking on the door, I get it. You'd have to give up something if you were Phoenix. Everybody in Phoenix ain't got nothing to give up at this moment in time. OKC would be the number 2 on the list because of the assets that they have. You keep Shea, you keep Jalen Williams, you understand? You keep one of the, preferably the off guard. You keep Jalen Williams, you keep Shea, of course, and you put Giannis with those brothers. Man, listen, I like Chet Holmgren a lot. I'd give up him and Hartenstein for Giannis. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, this is what we're talking about here. So OKC would be number 2 on the list, but the idea of pairing Giannis with Wembanyama, Lord have mercy. I don't know who's going to score in the interior. Who's going to be that team? I don't know.
Most impact the NBA. So does this have to be in the realm of we think it's going to happen because they have assets?
No.
Or in the realm of
just fantasizing about what's the scenario.
How do you not say the New York Knicks?
How
do you not say the team that it feels like they are that piece away from? Now, granted, who they have with it will matter.
I'm thinking about what they would have
to give up to get it.
Right,
but
because
still,
they don't have the assets. Right.
The thought of being in the Eastern Conference with the pieces here, understanding where the Boston Celtics may be headed towards, understanding Indiana and how they play. Mm-hmm. Jalen Brunson and Giannis together with some shooters and some 3-and-D people here in New York City. I'm shocked that you did not say New York. I am shocked.
Because of the assets they would have to give up and the fact that they don't have draft capital. That's why. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I think San Antonio as well. I've thought for 2 years somebody is going to get out in front and say that they want to be Victor Wembanyama's teammate. It ended up being De'Aaron Fox. He got there first. And guys, when you look at trades, I know that it is not as much fun, but you now have to consider the aprons. If you are putting a team together where the top 3 guys are going to make 80% of the salary cap, you are setting yourselves up for a short run because of the way it affects you. Second apron is hell. Maybe you can stay in it for a year or 2. You get it longer than that, you're just asking for all kinds of trouble. Because Victor Wembanyama is on the rookie contract for the next 2 years, it would enable them to really build out this team amazingly for the next 2 years. The cap then goes up and you get a little bit more room. Giannis is intelligent when it comes to the cap. He's intelligent when it comes to finances. I promise you, he knows the difference between the tax rate in Texas and the tax rate in California and New York. I'm not saying it's a deciding factor. It's a thing that's on his plate. He studies this sort of stuff. I promise you. And that is a huge factor. Now, I think that if he comes to the Bucks and says, I want to be a Knick, there's a trade that could be done. There's a trade that could be done. The Knicks have pieces. You know, if it wouldn't be ideal for the Bucks, but it could be done. The same thing for the Lakers and the Wolves. If he says, you have to trade me there, I won't re-sign with the team that I'm going to be traded to, I won't be happy, it could happen. But if Giannis is looking and thinking about the second apron and thinking about where he could win potentially for the next 3 to 5 years, San Antonio is an incredibly compelling case. The balancing out of a great shot-blocking shooter in Wembanyama and a great defender who doesn't shoot in Giannis would take so much pressure off him. It just makes sense across the board.
I will say that
He's absolutely right. I mean, he definitely is aware of the taxes.
he's prudent.
He's prudent. I mean, the taxes in Florida compared to the taxes in New York or L.A. is something that cannot be ignored.
Oh, thank you, Stephen A., for clarifying.
Home residency.
I wasn't aware. Where do the 76ers guys fall in all of this summer?
Nowhere. Nowhere.
76ers have a big night tonight, Molly. This is a big day for the 76ers. I know that it's been easy to forget about them. Mm-hmm. Guys, do you know what's on the 76ers plate tonight?
Cooper Flag.
They've got a 40% chance of getting into that top four, and a 10.5% chance of getting Cooper Flag. That's amazing. That's enough to get out of bed with a pep in your step, thinking this is going to be amazing because you've got Maxey, you've got Embiid. He had surgery. Maybe he comes back. You've got Paul George. There's a 36% chance they don't get their pick at all. 0, no pick. Goodbye. See you later. Okay? That's why they tanked like crazy banshees coming down the stretch of this season. One of the most complete tank jobs in the history of all tankdom happened with the Sixers down the stretch because their pick is top 6 protected, and getting it into 5th, which is where they got, doubled that percentage. But they still have a 36% chance that 2 teams come in front of them tonight and they go back to 7th, and the Oklahoma City Thunder walk up. When that pick comes out at 7 tonight, when Mark Tatum opens the number 7 envelope, gentlemen, if we see the Oklahoma City Thunder thing come out of there, oh boy. That said, when you get to number 5 and you either see the Sixers logo come out or not, which means they moved up, you're cooking with gas right there if you're Philly. Talk about a pivot. So Philly with a lot of skin in the game tonight.
Well, let me tell you. Let me sort of bring a little measure to the euphoria that you just put out there for Philadelphia 76ers fans. Essentially, what you just admitted, which we all knew, is that the 76ers, led by Daryl Morey, engaged in the quote-unquote process.
Trusting it?
The process. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, tanking games, tanking a season essentially, and what have you. And we see how that worked out for them. Ben Simmons was supposed to be a star, all right? He's turned into a thief, stealing money every chance he gets, okay, from the NBA teams. We got a good look at a guy like Joel Embiid, had no business participating in the Olympic competition last year, okay, because his health was questionable. And sure enough, he's been hurt all year long, and they can't seem to remedy his ailments, okay? So I would be careful about being euphoric if I'm the Philadelphia 76ers. Certainly you want a Cooper Flag. You definitely want to be in those sweepstakes. You want to get a top 3 pick. You want to get the number 1 overall pick, of course. But in the same breath,